Yo, JD here, and as you can see, we are back on F1 22 as always. And in today's video, we're going to be showing a series of 2 races, all done on PC. And this is actually the first time I've really done these tracks. Definitely Suzuka. I had not done a single lap before this point, which is the second race, which you'll see. Mexico had done a few before, but I'd say definitely less than 10. And you can see by the title of this video, the curbs around these tracks are quite significantly different from the previous games, and we get to experience that in these races. And as always, please give me your thoughts on whether or not you think it's more realistic with the curbs reacting this way. For me, I actually do like it when the curbs do punish you much more, rather than just mounting them all the time and how much you can cut it. It definitely gives a little bit more of a skill factor itself. But one thing I have noticed, and I will be making an entire video on this, is that on PC, the curbs seem to affect the car quite a bit more differently than Xbox and PlayStation. And I know if you've watched some of my videos in the past that you've heard me discuss that before. I have spoken to a few people inside at Codemasters, and they said the only difference between the platforms is the refresh rate. The refresh rate you can have quite a bit higher, and the frames quite a bit higher on PC. I know on PlayStation you can have them quite high as well, but when I've actually tested that, it's been the same result. Whereas on PlayStation and Xbox, you can really cut quite a lot of the curbs and don't really get affected by many curbs at all, honestly, such as Hungary when you go at the top of the hill after the first sector, Australia in the chicane, the first corner as well. But on PC, you really can't touch those curbs at all, and if you do, it's a lot more of a challenge. And basically the car just completely bottoms out on PC, which I think is good. I wish that was the case for the other platforms as well. But if you do have access to multiple platforms, please give me your thoughts, because I haven't really seen many other people give their insight if they do have the ability to do that as well. But yeah, going through into here, it's going through curves such as this. On the previous games, it was just like a pancake. It was just so easy to drive across it. It wasn't really, it was almost pointless having the curbs, really. It was just basically a marker to see where the end of the track is, and that was it. But now, especially when I'm playing PC, it feels a lot more how it should do, realistic wise. And we haven't experienced it yet, but you will see if you hit it wrong, it is going to punish you quite a bit. So in this one here, we're running very long wings. I think we're running like something like 4-1 wings or something stupid like that. So yeah, if you take the curb in a certain way, you can get away with it a bit more. But again, especially compared to Xbox or PC, on those platforms, it's like you're not really driving over a curb at all. And that's why I think, although crossplay still has its issues with stability, I think it's going to be quite interesting to see how the physics and stuff will compare it. So you can see I'm avoiding this curb on the right hand side, and then coming through into this one, we get away with that time. We actually get a track limit warning there, which might have to pause that after the video, because I didn't think that was completely off the track. Track limits definitely seem to be a bit stricter so far on this game, and I'll probably be doing a video on just my review of the game itself. But again, just please let me know what you think. Do you think the game has progressed since the patches, or digressed, or what would you change? What do you love about the game? What do you think they've actually done well on this game itself? And for me, it's definitely been a game that I've enjoyed playing, for sure. Definitely more so than F1 21, but I do still feel that there are a few things that do need to be addressed which will completely transform the experience even more. But if you have any of your thoughts, then please just post it down below. And right here now, we're just doing our best to try and catch FES Bolzas Palmer, if I can say it right. And as we go this one, this is fine. Almost lost the car there. Now coming into here, you just lose the car instantly. And one thing I found in this game, even not just being affected by the curbs like that, is that it's just so easy to lose the car, and you've kind of already lost the car before you've had time to react. And I've noticed quite a bit in esport races or drivers in the super competitive leagues that a lot of more drivers are actually spinning more often and also getting a lot more time penalties as well. So yeah, the way I would describe the handling since the patch updates is that it still feels nice to me. I still enjoy driving its handling model for sure. Although you could say it's a bit more towards realistic, I guess, with the traction. I actually did prefer the initial handling model. It just felt a little bit more satisfying and felt like you could predict the traction a bit more consistently. Although it was harder, you could do it more consistently as well. And one thing I do wish they would change in the future is the use of super high gear. So like corners like this, in real life it would be second gear or third gear. I see people do it in fourth and fifth gear, which I feel the high gears rewards you a little bit too much, more than it should, whereas in real life they're definitely not using first gear, but they do use second gear, third gear, especially third gear, a lot more than what some drivers do in this game. So I really hope that's something that could be fixed. And I do feel maybe that the gear ratios could be adjusted a bit more, because from gears 1, 2 to 3 it seems to be better traction, but then gears 4 to 5 and even 6, sometimes you can still lose the car. So it just feels a little bit more unpredictable with the handling as we're going neck and neck with this guy. Still come home in P3. But that was my experience in Mexico, and I feel it was definitely harder on this game. Now we move over to Suzuka, and this is actually my first ever laps I've done at Suzuka. I haven't even done the time trial. And just to let you know, hot laps and setups will be returning throughout the end of this week, because I'm currently away at the moment. And I did do a video explaining how to convert time trial setups to race setups, so make sure you do check that out if you haven't already. And yeah, a lot of people say Suzuka is a big improvement on this game as well. And yeah, let's see how it feels. So as usual, quite a bit of the carnage, and the tyres are completely ice. So that's one thing I wish they definitely update, is to make the tyres a bit more of an optimal temperature if the formation lap is turned off. But we're just trying to survive here, and yeah, we just got caught on that Ferrari. Go did a quick reset to track, and yeah, these are the races where you can really learn a lot about the track just doing 5 lappers, 25%. That's something I really encourage people to do if they want to get better at equal cars and be as competitive as they can against people. Races such as this really can teach you quite a lot about the game, and I always encourage you, as I say in my videos in the past, to always just keep going no matter what. Even if damage was on, you've got a broken wing or something like that, just being able to show yourself how much you can come back and just try and prove to yourself of what really you can do. So that's my first experience of a curb here. So that's a curb you definitely don't want to be kissing on the inside. Let's see what it's going to be like going through this last chicane. So 130R, it's obviously going to be a flat out corner up into P16, and coming to a kissing this curb. We're mounting this one a bit, and doesn't seem to be too bad. It's great that we don't have this bump which we had for so many years, and the exit at that last corner, which was always a complete nightmare. I think they got rid of it on F1 2020. A lot of understeer coming through into here, but that's probably to do with the setup itself. And go through here. Not really getting close to these curbs, so I don't really like to touch these ones as much as the others. Coming through to this one, this will probably be a flat out corner when it comes to the qualifying. And coming towards the end of the first sector, normally you can mount this curb on the inside. Definitely bottoms out a little bit more than it has in the previous game, so it'd be interesting to see what that feels like on Xbox and PlayStation. Coming into this hairpin, I really do love this hairpin. Plenty of overtaking opportunities and just allowing the camber of the corner to do the work for you. Now coming into one of my favourite sequences of corners. As you hit the 50 meter board, we're going to use a bit of this curb at the exit. We're going to avoid the curb at the inside this time and trying to get a good exit using a bit of the overtake button. And let's see what we can do here. So it's a double purple sector so far. It's a McLaren, and this guy having a bit of an issue here, and spotting the breaking point quite nicely. 33.7 fastest lap. That's a 32.5. Let's see what we're going to do. It's going to be a 30.6. So pretty nice pace so far at the moment. Now coming through into turn one again. Really is a lot of understeer coming through into these two guys are trying to go side by side, so we're just going to let him sort himself out. He's got to understeer a little bit, see if we can maybe get a little bit of a switch back on him. So thinking about going down the inside here, not quite enough room, and let him go in deep, try and get switched up again. And if you get caught on that curb, you can have a lot of understeer. We're going to go down the inside the end of this sector one, get that move done quite nicely. And now we're up into P7, so quite a nice recovery so far. Going to the hairpin again, and it's so easy once you start locking the brakes in this game that you just keep on locking up all the time. It's really, really hard to get yourself off that brake to release it again. And coming through here, do we use a bit more curb this time? Yes, we do, and as soon as we hit it, we instantly spin. And yeah, that's something I have to try on Xbox or PlayStation, because I really feel that wouldn't even happen on that platform. And again, learning it here rather than a league race is a good thing to do. So we'll see how we approach it the next lap. I think a lot of curbs like that, you really have to get your wheels straight as possible and not go on full throttle, maybe half throttle or completely off the power itself. So now we're back down to P12. Let's see what we can do here. And yeah, the track feels quite nice. And again, like I said, with the curbs, I prefer when they're like this. And you can see the guys really suffered on the exit curb of turn one there. But I really do prefer it when it does punish you much, much more, rather than just being able to just completely drive over it and get ultimate traction with it without any issues whatsoever. And carry through here, it seems like this curb you can't really hit that much on the inside, because you can see, and then this curb on the outside as well. So yeah, that is very, very different from previous games. And now that makes that corner much, much harder, because now you can't actually cut the inside like you were able to do in the past, and you can't extend it as much as you like. So you really have to be so much more precise through those sequences of corners. So I would say definitely Suzuka is much, much harder. And you can see now we're actually avoiding this curb on the exit, and yeah, we've got a bit of a gap up ahead of us now. So we're going to see how fast we can go on this final lap of the race itself. And yeah, it does feel quite satisfying to drive, definitely for sure. So coming through to here, we're going to mount this curb, and this one's not really too bad at all. So now we're going to push, and let's see how fast we could go. So going into this turn one, we're going to try and take this corner a little bit tighter than we did before. So using all the track on the exit, be nice and smooth on the power, avoid this curb on the exit, and almost flat out for here. So doing a bit of a lift go for here, so don't quite have the setup or the confidence just yet. come through here, stay as tight as you possibly can and try and carry as much speed as possible. So a little lift and then straight back on that power, which was pretty nice. Now coming through into here, not quite up on our fastest time at the moment, doing a pretty nice end of sector 1 there, and now go through into this hairpin, go past this ghost car and check out a nice tight apex, nice and smooth on the power. As you straighten the wheel, that's when you go fully on the power using the ERS on the exit. And I think this is a track where tyres do get eaten up quite quickly. Coming through into Spoon, not really using any of the track on the exit, so definitely need to explore whether that corner is a bit more using the ERS on this exit. And let's see, do we have a faster middle sector? No, we don't. So a little bit down in each sector so far, so tyres are going off just before the 100 meter board. So try to take a lot of curve through here, a lot of curve through this one. Car's a little bit unsettled, but just about got away with it. Use the ERS on the exit, and that is going to be a 30.7, so about half a tenth off what we did previously. And yeah, as I said, although it's more difficult, it definitely feels a lot more satisfying to drive as well. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for support on the channel. I have many more coaching slots and availability from September onwards, so check out www.coachlimitless.com for that. Thank you so much for these new extra rotation members. From September or the end of August, I'll be doing a lot more open lobbies, so I'll be a little bit more free then. So if you want to join me for these open lobbies, make sure you join my YouTube membership by clicking that join button and then joining my Discord. Hopefully I will see you there, and yeah, hope you have a great day, and I will catch you soon. Peace.